Welcome back. 724 new in our 7 o'clock hour. Should a company be allowed to fire you for something that you posted on your personal Facebook page?
So that's what happened here to State Attorney Ken Lewis. He was fired last month for posting comments about the Pulse nightclub shooting. Said Orlando was void of any redeeming quality just hours after the terror attack. Now, the department said he violated the office's social media policy. Ironically, policy created because of previous social media posts made by Lewis. So let's talk about it now. As we discuss this, you know, what is right? Was it right to fire him in this situation? Let's bring in attorney Whitney Boan. We are waiting for. We're going to just give it a second. There it is. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us here on this Wednesday as we talk about this whole deal. And is this infringing on a person's right to free speech? Were they right to do this? Did they have the right to do it?
Well, I think that the question here is whether or not this constitutes First Amendment protected free speech. And when you're putting of somebody's employment, especially when they're employed by a state agency. But even in any employment situation, you don't have an absolute right to say whatever you want. Just like you don't have an absolute right to say whatever you want in real life. You can't post things on Facebook or social media that are threatening to other people. That can constitute a crime even. That could be a federal crime. So the issue here is whether or not what he said reflects poorly upon his position when he's in a position of public trust. The state attorney has a fiduciary duty to the citizens of the Ninth Circuit, Orange County and Osceola County. It's a duty to protect the citizens, to protect the rights of victims, and to prosecute things in a just and fair manner. If it reflects poorly upon that position, like it was arguably it did in this case, then it could lead to you losing your job. It's a precarious situation when we're dealing with free speech issues and social media in an evolving time where social media has been around, but it's gaining so much momentum and it's such a prevalent part of our lives now. You've got to understand kind of where the line is, and it's kind of blurry sometimes in terms of what you can and cannot do and still keep your position in your job.
And that's kind of the thing, right? He kind of should know, right? No, just based on if you just read that it's going to read poorly. Is that kind of the thing? You have to have your own internal, editor that says this is not what I should post, or this is okay, and maybe he didn't see at that time, which I think we all kind of can see.
Well, and with Mr. Lewis, I can tell you I know him personally. And I've known him for a very long time. I'm a criminal defense attorney. I have handled cases against him. I don't think that what he said, and this was his argument, even necessarily was reflective of how he handled his cases in terms of, I don't know that you could even necessarily show any direct link to cases he's handled and his personal opinions that he put on Facebook. However, he'd already been reprimanded over comments he made Mother's Day, I believe in 2014, referring to and there was a lot of backlash about that. There was a press conference. So he'd been put on notice, actually, in terms of the social media policy that Jeff Ashton put in place in that office. That makes an even stronger case for the fact that you are on notice. You need to regulate what you say and understand that even if you're even just saying it for the purpose of being sensationalistic, that there could be consequences for that.
Absolutely. Okay, Whitney Boan, attorney, appreciate it. Thank you for the time this morning. And Amy, I'll tell you that the thing is we do this. We do Facebook and we do all those things, and you have to watch what you do.
Yeah,
you gotta
absolutely.
Know that, right?
You got to be careful. It's not rocket science, really.